pleasure to make a presentation here about some research initiative on the migratory birds and habitat in the Central Asia climate. And considering the theme of this workshop or this year, International Ecology School, that is on the wildlife and the endangered species conservation in Mongolia. So I'm considering where or how can China be related to Mongolia wildlife conservation and endangered species. So I actually recently I'm working on some water birds and habitat conservation and try to initiate some of the joint research project with Mongolia on the water birds and habitat study. So that is why I select this topic. We have done some of the work, but the purpose of my presentation is to call for common interest on this topic. So that is research initiative. I not try to explain what I have done, but I try to explain what we would like to do in the future. Okay. So as to the migratory birds and the habitat, actually, there are some of the migratory birds fly among Russia, Mongolia, China, Thailand, India, and any other countries. So it is very interesting topic. I found that there are 6 presentations related to the birds and habitat. So the first, I would like to introduce some of the basic concept of about the migratory birds, the habitat and the flag. So the other presenter missing time to introduce this kind of the concept anymore. And second, I would like to talk about some data sets, or what kind of the data, or what kind of the data of the birds or habitats, what they should be, or what kind of the data we need to prepare, or we need to collect, or we need to integration for our research. And the third, I would like to talk about how can we use this kind of data sets for one very specific activity, that is bird watching economy. And I'm very pleased to find that some of the topic already relate to some ecotourism. We are scientists, we monitor the data and we analysis, but we need to go a little bit further. How can our research may provide some help or support for the economy development? So I try to explain how can our data sets could be applied to the bird economy or ecotourism development. And the last part is research initiative on Central Asia flag. That is what I already written in the abstract book. First, so what are the migratory birds, habitats, and flag, especially considering the Central Asia flag? So there are very lovely birds in the Central Asia flag. The first one is black-necked crane. So you may say the neck is black. So that is a crane. So it is very lovely bird. Its breeding site mainly in Tibetan plateau, within China. So most of the breeding site are in the Tibetan plateau, including western part of China, North India, So the wintering site actually also mostly in China, but also in Bhutan, Nepal, and some part of the India. So it is also migrate from the north in the summer to the south in the winter. Uh, it is very interesting birds, and especially it has very special spirit link to the Tibetan people. They regard these birds as god bird, god bird, like the bird of the god or something like that. And there's a lot of Tibetan culture and story telling that this bird is a messenger to deliver the message from the queen to the king or something like that. So that is very interesting bird and very lovely. It's very pretty. There's another birds that is also very interesting. Yesterday, the Mongolian scientists talked about the raptor sites in the northeast of the Mongolia. He also mentioned this bird. So it also breeding in Mongolia of the wetland, and also some forest rivers in northern China. The birds is very lovely because the color of the feature look like how to see it. 金铁丝，这个金属色。Lush. Thank you. Thank you for your help. So the color like lush, very lovely, and could be shiny with in the sunshine, very lovely. So this bird also breeding in Mongolia and North China, but it will wintering in the central China and North India, and sometimes in Southeast Asia. So it is very interesting that these birds only like some very healthy ecosystem. The water is very clean. So if these birds are there, so it means that the river water is clean, and it is very sensitive to disturbance and deforestation. It is very because it's lovely. It is it is a target bird of lot of photographers. They try a long way to take photo. And this one is also very interesting. That is bar-headed goose. It means is that there are two black bar on the head. So it is called bar-headed goose. So it is not endangered, but it is lovely. It also breeding in high altitude in China and Mongolia. But they may it could fly very high. They could fly across, fly over the Himalaya mountains. So what is the height of they can fly? More than 6,000 meters. So it is very lovely bird. And they winter in the lowland in the Southeast Asia, including the Myanmar and northern Thailand. So you'll find some. You find some of the bar-headed goose. So it is very, very interesting, and very famous for the high altitude migration across Himalayas. So that is interesting. So that is another one I found that is very popular in Australia. They could be only 2 meters away, very near, but within China, it's not so many. This pelican, but this pelican also breeding in the Western Mongolia. They list some of the lakes, but I have never been there. But there are also some Eastern Kazakhstan. Within the Central Asia flag, there's also wintering in the Western Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan. So it is really Central Asia birds, and it is also flagship species for large wetland. So this pelican not only within the Central Asia flag. So as I said, that also in the East Asia and Australia-Asia flag, in Australia and some other places. Yeah. So that is migratory birds. You know that. So they migrate. Mostly they migrate from the north to the south, but not necessarily. And they migrate often from the north to the south. So between the breeding and wintering ground, they may have very high mortality. Not all the birds could fly to the south successfully and all return to the north. But the migration is really very important, and mainly for the food. There's Chinese proverb said that bird in fact is dying for food. So during the winter, for example, in the Mongolia, the lake, the river are all frozen. So the water birds could not get food in the winter in the north. So they might migrate to the south to find some food. But during the summertime, in the spring, they return for the breeding. So there are three important habitats related to the bird migration. That is breeding site, or sometimes they call breeding grounds. It is the same. So the breeding site and the wintering site. Because some birds may fly very, very long distance. So they may need to stop or stop over somewhere. So that is also some staging site in between. Not all the birds need staging sites. So they can fly directly from the breeding site to the south. So here give an example of the black stock, the breeding site, the wintering site. So you may say that in the north, that the brown color is the breeding site for the black stock. It is very long. So this picture is from Xiubo. It's not from not my research. But in the south, you may say that there are some non-breeding sites that is you may understand that including staging site and wintering site. So that is what I just give example that what they look like at the global levels of distribution. So as to how can we understand the bird habitats? So this is also the example of the black stock. We may need to understand what kind of the habitat the bird would like. For example, as a black stock, they like quiet, undisturbed wetland, river, and forest landscape. That is their major habitats. So they are riparian forests, mountain valley and foothills, freshwater wetland, and steppe wetland. So that is what they look like. The picture on the above, that is their breeding site. you may see that they are forest, forest. So this space avoid human disturbance and rely on some very good habitat. And so this is what we need to understand. What means that their habitat. That the habitat actually is an ecosystem. The forest ecosystem or grassland ecosystem or wetland ecosystem, but they may provide some necessary environment or necessary food or something for that. So, you may know that there are 9 flyways globally, and what we have studied mostly is the red color in the middle. That is East Asia and Australian Asia flag. So it covers 22 countries, including Russia, America, China, Mongolia, Australia, New Zealand, Thailand, and a lot of countries. But today I did not talk. I will not talk about it. Actually, we have done a lot of work along this flag, and this flyway, that East Asia and Australia flyway partnership was established in Egypt, Korea. So they already, I think, more than 10 years. So they coordinate the activities of this flag. But what I talk today is about is a Central Asia flag that is a green color. So this flag actually we do not have good understanding about where the birds, how they fly, and there are no institutional arrangement for the coordination or communication of this flag. Actually, in the past, India contributed for the coordination, but it is not as active as East Asia flag of the Central Asia. So this is where the Central Asia flyway covers. So it covers some part of the Russia, or almost the east and the west part of the Mongolia, and the eastern part of China, including Tibet Plateau and the Xinjiang area. So it is a very large area, and also some India, Central Asia countries, and also Sri Lanka, and some part of the Thailand, I think. So this flyway actually spans from the Arctic Ocean through Central Asia to the Indian Ocean. It covers 30 countries and spot over 270 species of migratory waterbirds. So we emphasize on the waterbird because the waterbirds need water in the winter and could not be frozen. They migrate. They must migrate. So it is also a range of diversity of habitat of the wetland, grassland, desert, and mountain. And there's increasing threats from the habitat loss, climate change, and human disturbance. Just now, our Australian friends talking about the hunting of the primate, of the monkey. But we know that there's still a lot of hunting of the birds in the South Asia. So there, and also some loss of the habitat, especially the wetland, due to the reclamation for the paddy field, for the fish pond of other purpose. So they are still facing a lot of threats of the Central Asia. So now I turn to some of the data. Actually, we know that the mainly data source for the birth record that is by the citizen science. Citizen scientists collect the data by themselves, and also some the project area. Like yesterday, the chairman introduced about the bird survey, like the Houston National Park. So they are mainly data source for the birds. But I think most of you are familiar, so I cannot talk about that. But here I talk about two kinds of new technology for the birds data collection. One is the satellite tracking. I want to know anybody in this meeting room use this kind of the technology for the study? Good. Wherever?
This can this part of Mongolia
In the Mongolia.
top virgin station on the province in this
Excellent. So you tracking the birds in Mongolia. Excellent. So you are from
migratory birds.
yeah, migratory birds. Sure. Anybody else? My student stand there, but she did not risk her hand.
In Thailand, we also used to monitor
Yeah.
hornbill.
Yeah, I see. The talent. So it is a very nice technology now. So that is a small device that could be attached to the birds on the neck, on the back. So it could be very small, uh, but this does not make any the big disturbance to the bird migration to the flight. Usually, USGS actually initiate this kind of technology in US and also European. They are very expensive, like $5,000 for one. But now China can produce much cheaper, $1,000. So it is now we use a lot of this device. My team owns 300 of this device to monitor the bird migration and their habitats. So it is very good data because it can tell you when the birds stay where with about 1 hour interval. So it is provided very precise location of the birds. So it makes it much easier for the people to understand where they fly and when. So that is what they look like. So compared to the traditional bird survey that is mainly by the watching, so this kind of the satellite tracking tools provide very accurate data on their spatial distribution. This is the map on the right. You may see that they can clearly describe their flight, the migrating route. So you may see that is very interesting, very useful data that we are now using. So this is play. No, you cannot. We cannot play. So anyway, I prepared a migration of the birds, how they fly and when and where. You can try. There's an arrow. Sorry. I cannot play, but you can imagine. It's true. Okay. So that is what we do. Another kind of the data sets is that is using the sound and the video. So just now, I was reading for those use for the monkey, but this kind of the sound, the audio instrument could also monitoring the birds, especially the birds in the forest. So that is also could be used. Another kind of the bird is a video monitoring. So it can tell, you can put the video there and then catch the birds, and it can tell using AI can tell what kind of the birds, and we can calculate what kind of the behavior in this different habitat. So now I just go through very quickly. So four type data type of the bird habitat. The first is a citizen scientist data. And the second is the satellite tracking data I just mentioned. And the third is the video and audio data. And then the last is the remote sensing data. So this kind of the four kind of the data sets are very valuable for this kind of study, especially for the tourism, for the watching tourism, for ecological conservation, and also so AI recognition system and migration research. So this is the scientific data. I think most of you study on the birds, you know that the e-bird. So that is the e-bird is exactly this kind of the data, the large extensive coverage, and it is really big data. Second is the satellite tracking data. So as I said, that it is high accuracy and capable of generating time series movement, and also very good for the scenario analysis, for the modeling of the international migratory corridor of the birds, and early warning in the high-risk migration zone, also some cross-regional conservation coordination, like the transboundary flag. The high-resolution remote sensing, that is also very important for us to understand the habitats. So we emphasize on the high-resolution remote sensing. So they could provide very detailed information of the habitat, like the radar, like drone mapping. So it could be very useful. The last, but I do not want to go too details. That is, this kind of data could provide some bird watching hotspot map. We know that where the birds are, so and why. And the second is a smart booking platform to provide the people for the booking to know that there are some birds there and go there. And third is the AI system for the identification, because not everybody knows every birds, every kind of birds. So we need this kind of AI system technology to tell people what kind of the bird are and what they may do. And last is provide the bird guide and the homestay owners with data benefit. So the homestay owners may benefit from this kind of the data. And the last is the shared big data for infrastructure for the bird watching. And last, I do not want to go too detail already in abstract book. So we want to try to document this kind of the data, to collect this kind of the data, and develop some tools or methods to integrate this kind of data and to analysis of them. So the expected outcome would be some specific data sets enabling real-time data sharing across agencies and countries, and also migration atlas, visualizing flyway the habitat network for the evidence-based conservation and planning, and also some peer-reviewed monograph, because the scientists and the students need papers. So this could provide very good data to support the peer-reviewed paper and some confidence agency. So that is my summary, that by bridging the critical data and for the water birds, for the habitat, and for the flying, so this could be for the greatest system and offering a scalable model for the global migratory species protection. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Yu. Sorry for pushing you.
Yes. I have some question. Anybody work on the birds or fly me? Raise your hand. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, if you have any ideas for cooperative work with cat flyways, Professor Jung is ready for talking. And birds can fly, but they cannot live in this